I think I'm a special one.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, we're live. This is World Cup episode 5. We're sitting here like minutes after the U.S. just drew England 0-0, 0-0. Football, soccer, we're recapping it all. How you feeling?
I guess you could call it either football or soccer.
Yeah, it's both. Like, if one team would have won, we would have came on here and called it. If England won, it's football. If U.S. won, it's soccer. It's
just crazy, all that build-up, and the ends 0-0.
Like, there was only one result that this game was going to get. It was going to be 0-0. So what are you wearing?
I got my... Dude, I always look at you for the year.
That's like a 2017, 2018.
Yeah. Pulisic on the
2018.
back, number 10, as soon as he was number 10. I mean, like, he's been number 10 ever since the beginning, right?
So that's like the 2018, obviously we weren't playing the World Cups, we were playing friendlies. Dave Sarachan was the coach after Bruce Arena stepped down. It's a Dave Sarachan era.
What's he do now?
He was a college coach, maybe? I just read an article about Dave Sarachan, actually. But yeah, so then we wore those in 2019 as well. So I think we wore them in the Nations League group stages, which were obviously like not easy games for us.
I like them.
Yeah, they're
the white ones
okay.
are cool too.
It's like the new look, like Nike jersey, is pretty nice.
What you got on?
I'm rocking the 2010 World Cup jersey Outdoor, white, with the gray sash across, 17 Outdoor, old school U.S. logo, pretty tough.
Yeah, I like the numbers.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That is a cool look.
It used to be hanging up here. I'll mix it up with some of the jerseys here, yeah. I need a new, like we said before, I need a new U.S. jersey, but I have one. So, how you feeling? We draw 0-0. Like, what are you thinking?
I feel fine, right? We were the better team. We kind of took the game to them.
Okay.
For chunks of the game.
It's bold.
Not so much middle part of the second half. Thought they kind of took the game to us. But there's times we took the game to them. So, some people make it seem like it feels like a loss, but that's kind of a good thing. It means like we put in a good performance,
yeah,
and we expected a result.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a good result.
Like, look, I think getting anything from England is going to be tough. Like, you could say like, oh, Harry Maguire's a goof or Southgate this or whatever. They're good. All of their players are good. They're always set up well on set pieces, organization, building up. Like, they're always good. And, like, today was always going to be tough. And to get a 0-0 draw when for most of the game, like, large parts of the game, we were the better team. And then I think for some parts, England was more dangerous. And I think especially when they made a few subs and we didn't, and we, once again, the level dropped a little bit, like, we started to fade. I think England started off strong. They had, like, probably the best chance of the game, I think, when the ball went in. I guess it was Harry Kane and Zimmerman blocked it, went out for a corner.
What was that? First 6 minutes?
Yeah, 6 to 10 minutes, I guess. And then we had a few chances. Weston's guys went over the bar. Pulisic waxed the crossbar. We have, like, 4 corners in a row. Like, there were some big moments in the game. And, Harry Kane has one over the bar off a set piece late in the game. So, like, each team had chances. U.S. won on XG. But, like, I think it was, like, a pretty even game. Like, I wouldn't say the U.S. are better. Like, maybe the quality of chances favored the U.S. just a bit. But I think it was, like, a pretty even game.
I think Berhalter set up his team very nicely.
Yeah, all these Berhalter haters are going to be like, oh, this, that. Like, he clearly knows what he's doing. He set up the team very well. Like, I don't know if you want to go into, like, tactics right away. You want to kind of, like, jump into the, like, we'll talk about the lineup. But so this morning, right? Iran beats Wales 2-0. So, one, it makes our draw with Wales look worse because Iran won. So, basically, we're going in the next game with beat Iran, we're in. Draw Iran, we're not in. Wales is pretty much out with this draw. England has 4 points. They're probably going to top the group. But if England drop points and we win, we top the group. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right? They could end with 5.
5.
We could end with Also 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we would have to like smash Iran to top the group. So we're probably not topping the group. So we're probably finishing second. You get to this point, you win against Iran, like that's what you want, right?
If you said all you had to do in this group stage was just beat Iran, then you're through to that's perfect, right? Like that's kind of what we set ourselves up very nicely.
Yeah, obviously the win against Wales makes it easier, but I was thinking this during the game as well. Like there's all this build up, and everyone's like afraid of England, and whatever. Alexi Lalas comes out and like kind of like tries to pump people up on like with his pregame speech, whatever. Like I gotta say, like it sounds cheesy, but like I'm proud of that team, right? Like it's soccer. Like we missed the last World Cup. We're never a real contender for World Cups, and we come out and we play England like, you know, like man for man, like mano a mano, like us against them, and like take it to them for large stretches of the game. And I think everyone who knows soccer would say this England team is a top 5 team in the world. And we just like took it to them for large stretches of that game. And like the hustle, the grit, and then the quality with the ball to combine around them. Like we weren't hoofing it long. We weren't just playing for set pieces. Like we legitimately had like nicer combination play than them. 1s and 2s. I think Pulisic looked like probably the most skilled player on the field. I think like we can go into that later, but I just think as a team, as a whole, like we showed we can compete at this world stage. We've had players at this level. We continue to have players at this level. We'll keep having players at this level. And it was just like cool to see like that team and that collective like come out with a game plan, a way they want to press, a way they want to keep the ball and progress the ball, and like they executed it. I think we deserved the goal. England might have deserved some as well. But it was a cool game to watch. I've very rarely seen the U.S. like step up to that level.
Yeah, I was saying during the game, I think England were the more tense team in the beginning.
Oh, definitely.
They seemed like tense, and U.S. seemed pretty confident on the ball. Both teams were like, okay, if they lose the ball, I guess we could get in some tactics now.
Yeah, well, let's start with how they set up, right? So England, unchanged lineup. We think Kane is Chancey's injured. He's not, right? So it's Pickford.
And then he plays 90.
Yeah, he plays a full 90. Maguire, Stones, Trippier, Shaw is the back 4. Bellingham, Declan Rice is a pivot. Mason Mount is like a higher midfielder. And then it's Kane, it's Saka, and it's Sterling. So like kind of how we expected. We were thinking, oh, maybe they throw in another center back and it's kind of 3 in the back and mix it up. They must just going to be rolling with this 4-3-3 the rest of the tournament. And then we keep the same lineup. No rotation except for Haji Wright in for Josh Sargent, which probably the right move considering I don't think Sargent earned the right to start another game.
Yeah. Looked like the right move. I didn't think Haji was that bad.
Yeah, I came in thinking
Haji
we
was
were
more
play
effective
Ferreira.
in this game than Sargent was against Wales.
Yeah, definitely. I thought Ferreira was going to play. Like that's just a different dynamic. I think the link up play might have been better, but maybe Ferreira's more of a Iran type guy. I don't know.
So I'm starting to think that Berhalter's just going with guys that he puts his trust into.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think like De La Torre, like that's my guy. Will he get any time at this World Cup?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, going into the World Cup, we were like, oh yeah, he'll get a game, but no, he still goes with Aronson, which is the right move, right? Barely plays Reina enough, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if
Who hasn't been around
Yeah.
to be trusted. Yeah.
Ferreira started a lot of games in qualifying, scored a lot of goals in.
I don't think he didn't start that many games in qualifying. He started a lot more games after qualifying.
Yeah.
I don't have the numbers.
Well, recently.
Yeah.
I mean.
But he went with his guys, like his midfield: Adams, McKennie, Musa, Pulisic on the left, Weah when he was been healthy on the right. Like those are his guys. Zimmerman as a center back, Dest as a right back, Anthony Robinson as a left back have been like mainstays all the time. So yeah, I kind of like the way we set up. And to start the game, we let England have the ball. In the past, we've let teams have the ball a little bit, but have been more aggressive to go press. So what I thought would happen was, like, normally we'd start with our 3 forwards, so it'd be Pulisic, Haji Wright, and Weah, in like a line of 3 kind of blocking passes into the midfield. What ended up being was like a 4-4-2, and we kind of mentioned it like a minute in, like, oh, snap, it's a 4-4-2. Pretty much Weah and Haji Wright would just take turns, whichever side the ball went to, going to press the center back and screening the pass into Declan Rice so that They couldn't pass it into Rice and if the ball went to the left, Haji Wright would go press Stones, and then Weah would kind of tuck in and be able to get out to Maguire if the ball went out to Maguire, while also blocking the pass to Rice. And then if the ball went to the outside back, so Trippier or Shaw, if it went to Shaw, McKennie would get out there as a right midfielder. If it went to Trippier, Pulisic would get out there as just as a left midfielder. And I think it worked pretty well. They clogged up the middle. That was their way of saying, we don't want Declan Rice on the ball. We don't want them progressing through the middle. I think where they kind of caught us was if Trippier pulled higher, they could get the ball to him, and he would dink it in behind to Saka, or sometimes Saka would stop. And Bellingham made that run the first time when Kane got the ball. And if Robinson is a step too late to close it down, he has time to get his head up and play that pass. And as the game went on, we were quicker to get out there and put pressure on the ball.
Yeah, there were a few times when they were able to get behind us. It's by dragging out our outside backs.
Yeah, and it's they would take up the space between Pulisic and Robinson, or between Weston and Dest, which I thought was the biggest problem we had to address in the first half. That was how they were getting through. They weren't playing through the middle. They weren't linking up with Kane at all, and I think that was probably what they saw was, if we could stop the initial pass into the midfield, they're not going to link up with Kane. Runners aren't getting in behind.
True.
So the only way they were getting runners in behind were find a player higher up the field in a wide area, and then Saka would make those runs sometimes. But Saka, as the game went on, I think stopped making those runs, and the runs came from deeper or another player. And they created some chances, but other than that, it would drag Ream out every once in a while, it would drag Zimmerman out, and you really got to commit to defending that too, right? So let's say it's Trippier playing one into Bellingham, and Bellingham's running through. Ream has to be aggressive and go, or Adams or a center midfielder has to track him. If you don't, you're giving up a free cross.
And I think it was a good move for the U.S. to set up that way, because you kind of got three midfielders who are really good at covering ground. I mean, McKennie and Adams, Musa, I guess.
Yeah, Musa covers some ground too. I bet if you looked at the stats, he covers as much.
I'll check the stats, but those three probably could have covered the most ground in the game.
Mm-hmm.
McKennie up until the time he was taken out.
Yeah.
So, that's their strength, those guys.
Yeah, and with our build-up, I think Zimmerman and Ream, they let have the ball a little bit too. They weren't overly high pressing, which no one in this World Cup really has either. It's pretty much just the battle of mid blocks. It's just your mid block versus my mid block, and eventually get to a low block if we're good enough. So we would find, Sterling didn't want to defend on one side. Saka didn't really defend much on the other side. So if we got past Sterling, it was Dest and McKennie and Weah running in this wide area on the right. And then Robinson made some driving runs to the left. And every once in a while, if Robinson was too deep, Pulisic would pull wide, and we could just bypass Saka on that side too. Which, you're England, you're fine. I thought Maguire was good defending. Stones was good defending. The two fullbacks were good enough. And, the England midfield three covering off ground. Declan Rice is always there. But it was a big game for the Walker-Zimmerman camp of wide progressions, right? And the only time we were really caught out was when we tried to play it through the middle. Zimmerman gave one away at the end. He gave one away 2 or 3 times earlier, trying to go through the middle. And I think it was trying to keep him honest that he'll try and hit that pass. Stu Holden actually mentioned it, maybe that's something they saw, and Berhalter told him to hit it. I just think he saw the opening and was I'm going to hit the pass. But every time he tried to play it through the middle, they jumped it. Every time we went around the outside, it was easy. It was fairly easy. Dest received it on the outside. If he could just take a touch and settle down, they gave him space to dribble into the middle. If we could find Weah or McKennie out wide, we could work those little combos.
I get a little nervous every time Zimmerman touches the ball sometimes now.
Yeah.
Well, at least today.
Yeah, I did too, but he's good enough. He's calm enough. As long as he's not forcing it, we're fine. He can knock it back to Turner. He can knock it back to Ream. Turner, I thought, was fantastic playing goalie, coming out, shot stopping. Fantastic with his feet. He dribbled past a few guys.
He dribbled past maybe Kane or someone late in the game, and he's so good at when he snags a cross out of the air, and then he can play someone quickly.
Yeah,
just gives me Tim Howard 2010 vibes.
Yeah, we almost hit he punted one to Pulisic, and it was 1v1 versus Stones, I think, and Stones made a nice play or something, knocked it out of bounds. But yeah, I think they would take the game to us for like a little bit, and then we would kind of take it to them. And honestly, both teams were set up pretty similarly in build up where the wide progression was on. Like if you got it wide, you were able to keep it. I think we were a little bit better when we got it wide to switch it through the middle of the field to the other side. Like we missed a few chances to get it to Robinson, moving forward. We got Dest in, we got McKinney in, like ready to serve those crosses in. And our best chance came where we like locked him in, we switched it, and eventually got to Weah, who put one in for McKinney.
Yeah.
McKinney, who found himself in the right corner, drops it back. We circulate a little bit, then finds himself in the box, like on the end of the cross, trying to finish. So it just shows like we were able to lock them in that area for like 15, 20 seconds at a time.
I was thinking that when we did switch it, it was McKinney who was the guy who was out wide more than it was Weah. I feel like Weah was more in field than he was against Wales, where we had Robinson on one side, Weah on the other side, very wide. Mm-hmm. This time, might have been a change of defensive shape. So we found McKinney pretty wide sometimes.
Yeah. Definitely in transition. Like, if we won the ball and McKinney was already wide because that's where he was defending, like, yeah, he's there.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? I don't think it was Anthony Robinson's best game, attacking-wise.
Nah.
Yeah. Mostly because we had success on our right side. Mm-hmm. Like, first half, pretty sure all our chances came from the right side, right? The McKinney one, the Pulisic header, the dash chance right before halftime, all came from the right.
We earned a couple corners on the left. But yet, so if we were successful on the left, it normally ended up with Pulisic on the ball, cutting inside. And there was very few times where he's cutting inside, trying to slip it past to Robinson. It was more cutting inside to combine or cutting inside to play Musa or Adams to switch it to the other side. So there wasn't a whole lot of chances for Robinson to like really get forward. But yeah, if we're just going like kind of player by player, starting in the back, Ream's distribution was really good. He very rarely like misplaced a pass. I thought he was fantastic defensively. Won some big ones in the air.
His really positioning is really good.
Yeah, dude, he's just like a baller. Like I think we talked about Zimmerman, not the cleanest day on the ball but when he didn't force it, he was fine. And defensively, he's good. Like people, I think the biggest hot take on Twitter after the game was like, we need to find another center back, or like, our center back plays in MLS, he must stink. It's like he's fine other than those couple passes. Like it's a tough ask for you to want another guy better than Zimmerman right now. Like I'm fine with that Zimmerman performance.
There's only one man for the job, and that's Walker Zimmerman.
Yeah, is Carter Vickers going to come in and be better than that? John Brooks, who is left-footed, you're going to play two left-footed center backs?
Dude, you can't change it. You can't change it. I'm not saying Walker Zimmerman's amazing, but you can't change it.
Defensively, it's fine. And all you have to do is tell Zimmerman to be a little bit more conservative. And like, to be honest, I'd rather make a mistake trying to play that pass that opens up the wide channel rather than like him just knocking it sideways to Tyler Adams every time.
There was one time Zimmerman literally took 10 touches on the ball. Mm-hmm. It's like he dribbled left, cut it, dribbled right, cut it. He was getting some ball mastery work in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like they sit in a mid block, so it's like touch, put your foot on top of the ball, roll it back, roll it sideways. Maybe it goes back to Turner, he gets it back again. So there's a lot of that. Same with Maguire, same with Stones.
Keep going. I'm gonna look up some passing stats.
Yeah. So Dest, I thought was really good again. Like defensively, can hold his own. He's never like locked down or anything, but like I think he's good enough. And like I still feel like we're missing some chances to get him moving forward. He got into like the wide channel and like I think served in a cross or two. But going forward, like he stays a little bit deeper and can get the ball and drive.
Who's this?
Dest. He's almost like a third center back or like an extra like defensive midfielder when he gets it. And I think he's really good there. Like you want him on the ball. And when Shaq Moore came in, I think you see the lack, like the drop in quality. Not because Shaq Moore isn't good. Like it's just like Dest like has a comfort with the ball. Like a couple times the ball was in the air and he brought it down and he earned us a throw, or brought it down, played a pass to get us out of pressure. Robinson misplayed a couple passes, or missed a touch, went out of bounds. But like he's impressed me every game. Defensively, he tracks so well, so athletic, covers so much ground. He's good enough with the ball where like, yeah, he's not like Andy Robertson like going forward or putting in crosses, but like you play him a ball and he could like get past a player with his first touch and like dribble and drive, and it lets us like break some pressure. And him and Pulisic, I think, have a pretty good understanding of like, you know, how to work off each other.
It's the classic guy goes inside over fullback overlaps.
Yeah, now like Robinson's not doing much cutting in, but on the right side we had a pretty good understanding of like Dest cuts inside, you know, Weah or McKinney pulls wide. I felt like there was a lot of times too where we got it to Dest or we got it to Robinson, and they would come pressure us, and the space was for us to dribble further infield and play a switch to like the opposite center back. So Dest receives it, waits a sec, relieves some pressure. He dribbles inside and plays one to Ream on the left side, kind of like relieves some pressure, which is kind of nice.
A player we didn't mention yet is Musa. I thought Musa had a really good game.
Yeah.
One of the better games I've seen Musa play with the national team. I just thought everyone overall was pretty good on the ball.
Yeah.
I think they were just confident. I don't know what it was. Maybe you play up to your opponents.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I was like, oh, I'm proud of this team. Like every one of them was like didn't look like they were scared, and I feel like in the past we might have said they were scared. Like Musa, I don't think we're ever going to come on here and say he was the best player on the field, but like he's calm, he's smooth, he combines well like under pressure. I thought Adams once again was like probably our most consistent player the whole game. Dude is just like class at winning the ball back, tackling, being in the right spots. Like you want that guy on your team.
And then McKennie was good, a lot better than he was against Wales. And obviously, when he plays good, the USA play good. I said that.
That's such a Landon Donovan take, though.
No, he took that take from me.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. I thought in the first half, I thought he was like on the way to be the man of the match. The second half, I think it faded a little bit. He had to do more work. Dude, his like combinations were really good. Like flicks and turns and like 1-2s in tight areas. Like it's surprising how good McKennie and our team as a whole are in those like tight situations. Like our possession games in training must be nice.
Yeah.
Like it's like, boys, possession game's too big. Let's bring it in a little bit. And like we're just pinging. Yeah. So I think the midfield was the better of the two midfields. One, because we sought to stop them playing through the midfield. And two, because when we got it wide, nice little wide progression, we were able to switch it through the midfield to the other side. Where I don't think England could do that as much because we were, trying to stop that. What do you think about Haji Wright?
I mean, we came on here and talked about like improving our crossing last podcast. Didn't get a whole lot of opportunities as we did with Wales to get balls in the box.
Yeah.
Maybe he could compete a little more, like really try and hold someone up, like one of the center backs up. But when the ball came to him, he received the ball a decent amount out wide too. Like he would make like runs in the channels and stuff. Kept the ball for us. Link-up play was fine. He had that one back heel that let Dest go on his way to go 1v1 at Maguire. Yeah. So like, I thought he was actually pretty good. Better than what I expected because against Wales, dude, like he was like stiff. He was like a wooden plank out there on the pitch.
Well, he's also like, maybe he was a sub that didn't warm up. Like he was still sitting there and no one said, Haji, get loose. And Greg was just like, yo, Haji, get in the game. I was like, dude.
Yeah.
He's like scrambling to put on his shin guards or something.
Yeah. He was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
I wish, like, Sargent obviously had the hold up play to lead to our goal against Wales. But if we got the Haji Wright performance against Wales, like what he did today against Wales, I think we're probably better off. Probably creating more scoring chances. So I would assume he starts again against Iran, and he's probably the 9 going forward. I wouldn't mind seeing Ferreira at some point as a sub. Maybe if we need a goal, we got to chase the win. But I'm okay with it. We're still not getting enough from that spot. But given the situation, it's all right.
Yeah, you said during the game you were okay if we subbed on like a Reina or someone, put Weah through the middle.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Berhalter do that yet at all. Weah kind of played like a right forward in a 4-4-2 a little bit today. But the way the game was going today, if you wanted to get more out of Weah, like sub in Reina and move Weah there, it would have been okay too. But it had to be earlier in the game before Weah really got tired.
I also think the reason for starting Haji Wright, because everyone was like, oh, Haji Wright's starting. Like, it was a shock. Thought it would be like set pieces because of how good England are at set pieces. Mm-hmm. But I actually didn't even try to look and see where Haji Wright was on set pieces, so I'm not sure.
This is, like I said, this is minutes after the game, so we haven't gotten a chance to rewatch.
They're so good at defending set pieces.
Yeah, all of our set pieces we're trying to pretty much isolate Walker Zimmerman at the back post. And to me, and they're using Weston McKennie as a guy to draw Maguire out and occupy Maguire. I'd rather have McKennie at the back post and use Haji Wright's big body to almost your man marking the defender who's just winning all of the headers.
Maguire had 6 headed clearances.
They're probably all on all 7 of our corners. We had the one run in the second half where we had 4 corners in a row.
I think he had the most headed clearances.
Out of anybody?
Yeah, Maguire just sits on that 6-yard box
Yeah.
and heads everything. Dude.
It's a skill to be able to read the ball and then go find it. Some guys I'll head it if it's near me. But Maguire can read it and just go to it. And Stones doesn't really have that either. Weah was okay. He held the ball pretty well moving forward. Put in a couple good crosses. He put the one into McKennie.
He's saucy. Yeah, he'll do a little chop.
Yeah,
and play the ball really cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, he'd be nice in street soccer, but there still could be more from him. He doesn't create a whole lot on his own. I think he's good enough in the flow of the game. I think our best player, creating things out of nothing, is still Dest. So I want him driving forward more, and I wonder if Robinson had more of that skill set like Dest, where he could almost play make from deeper. Then maybe Robinson sits and you get Dest moving forward. But I thought Pulisic was great too. I think some of our best ball retention plays and transition from building up to attacking came from getting the ball to Pulisic and wide progression.
Dude never receives the ball on his left foot.
No, which is that's fine with me. He is totally playing with confidence, playing for the badge, the crest, whatever you want to say. And he made Trippier reach a few times, and Trippier had no chance of getting the ball. You're just hoping Pulisic takes a big enough touch where someone else comes and gets him.
Yeah.
He created a lot. There's a few times where he looked to link up and play in the middle of the field, the space in front of England's back line, and it was a little too tight. I think McKennie played him a ball that was a little too tight in there, and he got it stolen. So I would assume his his stats might not look as good as they could have compared to his impact on the game. His set piece service was definitely better today. Still not great, but
what makes a completed dribble?
I have no idea.
Dribble past someone, because he had 2 in the match, and that was the most in the match.
That's definitely not. That doesn't pass the eye test, whatever that means. Maybe their criteria for a completed dribble is higher.
Anthony Robinson created the most chances in the match.
Really?
That's what it says. I don't know who's writing down these stats.
Who had the most passes?
Most passes was Maguire. No, Stones. 86.
How about for the U.S.?
Pretty sure it was Zimmerman.
Oh, my man.
He had 72 attempted, 63 accurate.
Yeah, and look, the possession numbers definitely favored England, but I would say when we sat off, we let them have the ball. When we didn't, and it was you won the ball and established possession to go attack, I think we were just as good as them, building an attack from possession.
They completed 472 passes. We completed 355. So a little over 100 less.
They completed probably way more between Maguire and Stones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So
won the corner battle, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Another lock over on corners.
We had, like I said, 4 in a row, and it's just you got to put one of those in. We're due for a goal on a set piece. We hired this set piece coach. We talked about having all these big bodies in there, good in set pieces. Got to score one from a set piece. I think our best chance was the Weah cross into McKennie that he kind of skied, but that's a tough one to hit. We had Pulisic receiving on his left, and shot it with his left, so it debunks your theory that he never receives on his left. And it whacks the crossbar, goes out for a 6.
He never receives on his left.
I think he received the ball with his left. And so that was a good chance. Kind of came of nothing. The fact that I think it was one of those chances where you're lucky to hit the crossbar, where if it just went out for a 6, you're like, dude, why'd you shoot that? But if it hits the crossbar, oh man, that was so close. And then We hit with the corners. What other good chances did we have? We had one where Dest was driving in at Maguire, and he cut in on his left, and Maguire kind of blocked it, went out for a corner.
I mentioned that.
That I think is one of the best. Like we talked about with Pulisic last time. Just keep driving at these guys. They'll keep backing up, and you'll probably get fouled. I really like the play where it was a broken corner. Pulisic receives the ball in the box, and he's dribbling at Harry Kane. Harry Kane's defending his own box, and Harry Kane steals the ball from him. But that's fine. Like you'll take Pulisic versus Harry Kane. You'll take him dribbling in the box. You might get fouled.
I always thought Harry Kane would make a good fullback.
Yeah, Harry Kane's like he's a right center back and like a 3 in the back. That's where he was defending from. Yeah, so I wish we created more chances. I don't think we look to get in behind enough, not in a direct way. I take a touch, I get my head up, sort of like England was doing. There's like 2v1 runs on the side of the field. But I think that's just Pulisic looking for the ball. I also think, in theory, you have Robinson on the touchline on the left. You have Pulisic kind of tucked into the middle there, half space. Like, that makes sense, right? But I think the team works better when Robinson and Pulisic can both pull wide when they need to. If I was a team, I'd kind of make us play through the middle, to be honest. And no teams really have so far. Because Musa, McKinney, they're not trying to receive the ball in those pockets of space and play through the middle. And like Pulisic very rarely does it. He likes to receive it out wide, even though in qualifying, I think a lot of teams gave us the space in the middle, and he wasn't good at it. And Way is not good at it. That's not his thing at all. So I don't know why teams don't like stop us playing wide, because every time we get it wide, we could really build a good attack. I don't know what else are you thinking.
That's it for me tactically, dude. Like I'm not really trying to look too far into it, you know. Like be like, we need this player there, we need this player that. Right? Things happen in like a split second. We can't really break down every little thing.
Well, it's right after the game too. Like we haven't had a chance to rewatch it. One complaint I did have, I thought Fox's broadcast was awful, considering they zoomed the camera in too far. I just need someone to complain about this. It's like when you're watching football, the camera's on the pocket, like the quarterback, and then the quarterback throws the ball 15 yards downfield, and you don't know who's there. Could be the other team, could be the receiver. And this was a broadcast specifically made for people that don't watch soccer, that are just tuning in. The ball's zoomed in, right? So Pickford is like about to take a 6 kick, and all we see are the 2 England center backs and like Pulisic, who's pressing at the top of the box. Pickford boots it 75 yards down the field, and we have no idea who's down the field because it's so zoomed in. Early in the game,
I like it kind of zoomed in.
Nah, I'd rather have it zoomed out. Like, I want to see who the players are, obviously, but I want to see the play develop. It's like early in the game when they had the chance where they played Jude Bellingham in, the one that Zimmerman blocked. Saka received it in like a pocket of space, but I couldn't see because the ball came from deep. I think it came from Stones. And he received it in turn. But you didn't know there was space there. You didn't know who was supposed to be stepping to him because it was too zoomed in. It's so annoying.
They're not targeting the tactical genius that's like you.
Yeah.
They're targeting the
bros
casual fans.
The bros sitting on their couch that are going to watch football this week. Like, that was just annoying. Like, I feel like if I had to rewatch, I'd rather rewatch on the Univision or whoever has it in Spanish. Just so
it's all the same
broadcast.
It's all
I'm
the
sure
same
the
camera.
Yeah, but I'm sure Fox chooses how much to zoom. That's definitely not true.
No.
I don't know, man.
It's all the same.
Then why are some games so zoomed in and some aren't? This was definitely zoomed in because
it's
of the
different
game.
angles of the games.
No, even in the beginning of the game, it got better as the game went on. Even in the beginning, like the ball would move and like the camera would move. Normally in a game, the camera moves very smoothly because it's so zoomed out that like you don't have to move it too much. But it was so zoomed that the ball would move and it would like quickly have to move. I feel like I was watching like a high school game or something. Like a dude's like holding like a camcorder. Yeah. Any more like thoughts on the game? I feel like for a game this big, there's a couple tactical things, and then that's it.
Well, obviously there's no goals,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't really break down how a team scored, how a team conceded. What do you think the USA or England-Wales game will end up? How do you think England will prepare for that game?
I mean, they have to.
Wales have to go for the win.
Wales have to go for the win. England has to. they have to get something, because if Iran wins, they could, and England tie, Iran could win the group. So England have to go for something. So I would think they start like a pretty strong squad, maybe rest the guys with yellow cards or something. I would think England win that game. Wales didn't look good today. I didn't think they really looked that good against us either. Iran, I'm not really scared of Iran either.
Wales did not look good today.
Yeah.
Dude, Iran could have put a few in. Before the whole red card, Iran really could have had two.
Bale stinks, by the way. Like, I'm tired of the camera zooming in on his face. I'm tired of people like being like, oh, he played for Real Madrid and he scored against LAFC or for LAFC or whatever. I don't care. He's not very good. He's just a different looking guy because he has a man bun.
Again, they're not targeting.
And he was good 6 years ago.
They're not targeting you.
Exactly. So they're just going to zoom in, and so I can't see the play.
Right. How do you think USA will do against Iran? Any changes you would make to the squad?
I'd be okay with Ferreira as the 9. I don't think we're going to press the same way. I think today the press was specific for England. I think we're going to press in our 4-3-3 because Iran's not going to be as good keeping the ball, and we're going to go get the ball back a little bit quicker, and we're going to be ball dominant. I think England and some of the other better teams are the only teams that we won't have as much possession. Against Iran, I think we will. So I think it's going to be probably Haji Wright, Pulisic, Weah, and I think they're just going to block off those passing lanes. When they do, they're going to go get the ball, and then we're going to have to win it. It's going to be on the midfielders to win it. Our center backs step up, play the high line.
Against Iran, I would start Haji Wright, but I think Berhalter needs to be a little bit quicker with his subs.
In fact, I've been meaning to ask you that because today I thought we started to lose the game as McKinney gets a little tired, as the front two get a little tired.
We didn't lose the game.
We lose the game in terms of flow, field tilt, that kind of stuff. And then they make subs. Henderson comes on and just runs his butt off. And I think who else came in? Grealish, he didn't look. He's kind of dangerous running at you, right? But he's fresh, so it looks more dangerous than it is. But like we let McKinney go a little too long again. Like I'm fine. I thought McKinney was having a good game. If he has the legs and he has the stamina to go, leave him out there. But he clearly doesn't. Someone like him, someone like I think Wright, Weah, Musa, all could have been subbed a little earlier.
It just comes down to Berhalter trusting his guys. Like I don't know if he trusts everybody in a game against England. Like that's understandable. You can't trust like everybody in your roster.
Yeah.
Right. How many subs did they make? 4?
They made 4. England only made 3, I think.
3?
And Berhalter seems like a guy that trusts his game plan much more than tactical adjustments. Like they trusted their game plan against Wales. It didn't quite work out because Wales made adjustments and we weren't quick enough to like readjust, I guess, or play through that adjustment. But like I appreciate a coach that comes in with the plan and the team can execute a plan rather than like some guy who's just reactionary and saying like, oh, they're doing this, so we'll just move this guy over. That's not like progressive thinking. That's not like being on the front foot. That's not long-term thinking. Like, there's a lot of arguments for like people with national teams to just say, I have this player, I'm going to play him in this role because that's what he's the best at. Well, like, I'd rather a team set up in a way that everyone like kind of knows their role and we're playing towards a goal rather than just like quick fixes. Now, a World Cup is a place for quick fixes, but I think overall, in general, the way Berhalter and the national team seems like it wants to be run as like a legitimate program from the youth to all these different camps that like we're playing this system and like it's not just about quick fixes. The 4-4-2 today press was probably the biggest adjustment we've seen Berhalter make in any game, like from game to game, which is kind of surprising. Yeah. The most adjustment for me is like, is Pulisic hugging the touchline or is he tucking inside to find the ball, or like is Dest quicker to get up the field, or like just different player profiles and different, situations. But even today, you're not finding McKinney and Musa between the lines. They're pretty drawn back. So, that was kind of a rant of multiple different things here. But I would appreciate a coach more that sticks to his guns there.
Makes a decision and sticks with it.
Yeah. Now, I think you could look at the data or just your eyes and say, hey, we're losing it a little bit. We're losing teeth in the game. Like McKinney's got to go or somebody's got to go. And Aronson is probably too good of a player to get the last 15 minutes that aren't as valuable.
Yeah.
And like Gio Reyna subbed in too. What'd you think of Gio Reyna?
Did we talk about it on the podcast or was that before the podcast?
Might have talked. No, we didn't.
Just, I mean, right? Didn't really have any time to do anything, right?
Yeah.
Like got going at one player. I think he gave the ball away. That was it.
He subbed in the same time as Sargent, so like you knew there'd be like it was a little clunky when you're pressing. Like you ever sub into a game and you over communicate, you're like kind of nervous, everything's moving fast. He was pointing at Sargent. Sargent was sliding. I think they moved over a little too far in the press. So I thought that would be like a problem. And the first time he really gets the ball and gets the touch, he drives so nicely. It looked so good, and he just passed it straight into the defender. And like everyone kind of put their hands up. And I was like, man, we missed the chance.
Yeah, yellow cards definitely did play a factor in taking like a player like McKennie out.
I think he's just tired. I don't think
it definitely does, right? More yellow cards are given out at the end of games than the beginning of games. So
yeah, but you're also like if McKennie had the legs to go 90, you're not taking him out because of the yellow card. You're just letting him go.
No, you probably do take him out because you have the subs to do so and the fresh legs of Aronson.
Yeah, you make that sub elsewhere if McKennie can go 90. You're trying to make the case like, yeah, I guess you could take him out because he's tired and yellow. Is like in that situation, you're not taking him out because he has that yellow card. The way McKennie was playing, if he can continue those same levels of fitness, and like you just let it.
He didn't play that good in the second half. So
yeah, first half was much better. Obviously.
That's kind of it from me.
Yeah, Reyna. The Reyna giveaway bugged me. I thought the reaction to Reyna bugged me. Like we got on here, it was like, oh man, like Jordan Morris played instead of Reyna. That's weird, but like it's just one game. I'm sure he'll play more. And people were just going nuts on Twitter about it and podcasts. And
Morris got snubbed. I can't believe he didn't start today.
Dude, yeah, Morris missed that start, right?
Yeah.
And like people
were
were like,
rolled on when we needed him.
Dude, so many people were like, dude, Berhalter should lose his job for putting Morris in over Reyna. It's like, dude, he's the coach. I trust him to make that decision more than like some guy on Twitter who doesn't know more Reyna's like fitness levels and what he looks like in training. But we all agree Reyna has more quality. Like,
dude, he 100% should have played Reyna over more. Dude, there was 10 minutes left in the game too. Like
you never know.
Reyna in, bro.
And then there was this is definitely a rumor because I saw it from like like a not legitimate source that Wijnaldum was trying to say that Claudio Reyna heard from Gio Reyna that they wanted to tell the media that Gio wasn't totally fit, and that's why he didn't play. And that was Berhalter's original excuse, was that he wasn't totally fit. And then a few days later, Berhalter said, no, it was just like a coach's decision. So it was like Berhalter or U.S. Soccer, whatever, was pressuring Reyna to come out and say, yeah, I wasn't totally fit. So that'd be kind of sleazy. I don't really believe that.
I can't believe everything you see on Twitter, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think the amount of people saying it's ridiculous that Walker Zimmerman is our center back and that Reyna isn't subbing, like playing more, blame the game totally on those two, right? And part of me thinks it's because they don't know soccer and they can't see, why weren't we successful enough to score goals or do whatever in the first half or second half, and they just blame it on straight up the subs and Zimmerman's dumb tackle. Yeah, it was dumb tackle.
It goes along with people are like, oh, we just need to play this formation. Like, no, it's not the formation that you play. It's how you play in certain positions of the field.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, we need to play a 3-5-2. Okay, how are you going to do it? Why would a 3-5-2 help? Or something stupid like that.
Like, could you make 2 extra passes to get, your fullback forward as he would in a 3-5-2? Or could you get the ball to this player in this position in your current formation instead of just switching the formation?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it kind of bugged me. Like, so a lot of the talk was about Zimmerman messing up. And, like, he, that tackle, conceding the penalty, making it 1-1 instead of the win, could have cost us a chance to qualify for the next round, right? And defenders are judged on mistakes. Like, you very rarely judge a defender on, like, a clean performance. You judge him on, oh, he messed up for the goal.
Yep.
But he had a good game other than that, like, clear, like, defending-wise, pretty good enough with, good enough with the ball. And it stinks to have to judge him on that. But some of it was like I heard takes, Zimmerman has no appearances in a Big 5 league, so of course he's going to, concede that penalty. As if Sergio Ramos never conceded a penalty or whatever. Like, I get it, it's on a big stage. But, like, being inexperienced in a big league doesn't mean that. I think Zimmerman saw the ball and went for it. I think that's the type of player he is.
I got you. Yeah, no need to.
So that bugs me.
Yeah, that was last game though.
Yeah, I know, but I think that just the whole theme of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then the fact that people were just blaming the fact that we didn't win on that Gio Reyna didn't play. Now, I think Iran will be a more Gio Reyna type game. I think the game will be more open. I think we'll have the ball a lot more, be less, likely to press. I could see Weah.
They might sit in pretty deep. Iran.
Yeah, try to counter a little bit. I could see Weah getting
They
less
looked
minutes.
pretty good on the counter against Wales. Mm-hmm. They started as Moon and Taremi.
Mm-hmm. It's a 4-4-2?
Yeah, I think it was a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Pretty good on the counter.
Dude, what if we match him with our 4-4-2? Be crazy. I would assume for the next game that Weah gets less minutes. Reyna comes in sooner. Whoever of McKinney or Musa gets tired quicker. Aronson comes in for Haji Wright. Then maybe you're subbing in Ferreira or Sargent. Depending on the score of the game, too, you might just sub in another forward if you're really chasing the game.
We should have a podcast reacting to old predicted USMNT lineups for this World Cup that came out in 2018.
Yeah,
what people were saying should be the lineup in 2022.
Dude, you should see some of the ones after the 14 World Cup, the lineups for the 18 World Cup. Dude, those are crazy. I mean, you have Joe. I think Carter Vickers is on them because he was up and coming around that time.
Gotcha.
Shaq Moore would be one of them. Yeah. Julian Green. The team's just missing a Julian Green in the midfield.
On the wing.
Man, we could have used the Julian Green goal today.
Yeah.
Dude, another dumb take that I saw, right? This was, along with the Walker Zimmerman not playing in a big league, they compared it to Wondolowski missing against Belgium. They're like, well, Wondolowski's an MLS guy, and he doesn't have any big game experience, so of course he missed that goal. That goal, in training, in games, in whatever, he's probably scored 1 million times. Guys just miss sometimes. I'm not, yeah, he should have scored Wondolowski against Belgium. But, it's not because he played in MLS over, playing for, Southampton or something. Or, Clermont Foot in League One. In the French league. It's just a bad take.
Well, yeah, you're just always going to have those people, no matter what. No matter how good Zimmerman's plays, there's always going to be anti-MLS people. And
we just can't worry about them. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there might be more takes flowing later. These instant podcasts are weird, You get so many things from the game. You haven't watched it yet. You haven't heard other people talk about it.
I watched the game.
Yeah, you haven't rewatched the game.
I probably wasn't going to rewatch the game.
You're not going to rewatch this game.
I don't think so.
This game seems like a better
Wales game.
Dude, this game is definitely a rewatch.
So I just get tense watching this game.
Well, the outcome now.
I just think I'll get tense again.
Yeah, the game kind of wore me out a little bit. I was tired after.
I kind of have a lot of other World Cup games to watch too. So
facts. That Tunisia-Australia game tomorrow is gonna be crazy. Do you want to talk for a few minutes about some other storylines in the World Cup?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Pull up some results.
Yeah, but first we have we want to shout out our sponsor of this episode, who's been sponsoring the past few episodes. That's Inform Sportswear. Are you a soccer player? Do you want to improve your game? That's where Inform Sportswear comes in. They create high-quality soccer grip socks. For those who don't know, grip socks are socks that the pros wear to reduce slipping in their cleats or boots in order to improve performance. They also reduce blisters, and they are a cool look to wear in your games or training sessions. Worn and tested by players at the highest level here in the United States. If you want a pair or want to check them out, visit informsportswear.com or at informsportswear on Instagram and TikTok to get a pair. That's informsportswear.com or at informsportswear on Instagram or TikTok. You can use code in all caps WorldCup22 at checkout for 20% off. Discount code again is WorldCup22, all caps. Inform Sportswear, made for the players by the players.
Great ad read, bro.
All right. So, is there any team in the first round of games that's impressed you the most? Who's come out on top, you'd be like, wow, this team is actually legit?
Like I'm not going to say Spain because they played Costa Rica, who's probably the second worst team behind Qatar. France to me still seemed good. Like I know they lost Benzema, and I know it's just Australia, but like they have whatever it takes to beat anybody on any given day. Germany, who seemed like another favorite for the World Cup, obviously dropping that game, looking a little, not looking too strong. I don't know. What are you thinking? Who's like England? I still feel like is honestly one of the favorites, and I know they just dropped points today, but
well, yeah, of course, England impressed very much in the Iran game.
Mm-hmm.
The team that impressed me the most you can say Spain, but of course they played the worst team in the World Cup. I think Costa Rica, no shots, not a single shot that whole game, 0 xG.
Wow.
Like it's just like, but it would have to be France.
Yeah.
Dude, this France team is still so good. Mm-hmm. Like you got Mbappe, who's insane like if you're betting on the game, just bet over on corners, dude. Mbappe is either going to get to the end line and put a cross in, beat his man and get a shot off, or beat his man and a ball gets deflected out for a corner kick.
So you really just got to stop Mbappe getting the ball.
Mbappe, Griezmann looks super sharp. Giroud has a World Cup goal finally.
Dude, Giroud is so good, and people just continue to diss him.
That's all without players like, Lucas Hernandez just got hurt, so they're without him. They were essentially without him last game because he got hurt so early. Kanté, Pogba, Benzema, and Kunku. Those five. That's all without those 5 players, and they're still this good. I don't know, dude. They impressed me the most. Spain was just so dominant that game because of how much they had the ball.
Yeah. And it's an easy team to play your style. If someone comes to, like high press or do something against this possession style, you might look a little different. But if a team's just going to sit back and let Spain get in a rhythm, they're kind of doomed from the start. So that was the perfect game for Spain to look like they were that good.
Yeah. And 7 goals is not easy to do. Like that's still very impressive.
So obviously Argentina, one of the favorites, losing to Saudi Arabia. I think they'll be okay. Like I think it could just be a fluke. They'll probably still get out of the group. Brazil looked super strong. I think Serbia is just a good side, so they held them 0-0 till half. But Neymar being out for he could miss the whole group stage. You would think they would just rest him anyway and then just play him in the knockout rounds. Even if he's just a sub, to be honest, like that Brazil team's still plenty good enough to at least get to the semifinals without Neymar.
Yeah, that group's pretty interesting. Because you had probably the 2 favorites to get out of the group, Serbia and Brazil, playing each other first. Mm-hmm. Serbia looked okay, but Switzerland actually looked very good. Who'd they end up playing? Who'd they play yesterday?
Cameroon.
Switzerland looks pretty good.
Yes, they won 1.
So,
they got 1-0.
Serbia's going to have to try and get 6 points in the next 2 games. Hopefully.
Yeah, or they got to hope that Brazil take all 9 points from the group here.
Yeah.
Denmark was a favorite to contend France for, like, a lot of people were saying that France were, previous winner, maybe they'll slip up in the group but still advance. And I think people were a little too high on Denmark's team, and they tied Tunisia, who we were on here saying, hey, Tunisia's not that bad. Like, they have some, like, competent bodies. They have some skillful players. They have experienced players.
Tunisia's actually, if we talk about, like, how teams don't really high press, Tunisia doesn't high press, but they're buzzing all over the pitch. Mm-hmm. So is a team like Ecuador. I saw them in their second game today.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the Ecuador side.
Yeah, I think Ecuador could be like we talked about, could be a dark horse. Netherlands will probably top that group. I think it's going to be down to Senegal and Ecuador, whoever wins that, right? Senegal's on
3, Ecuador's on 4, so a draw puts Ecuador through.
I kind of want to see, whoever's second will probably, the U.S. would probably play Netherlands if they got through. Because Netherlands still have an easy 3 points against Qatar, you would think.
Yeah.
And then, so we'd play Netherlands, and then I think Ecuador would give England a good game. I think Senegal probably would too, but Ecuador intrigues me. Yeah. I really like their midfield. Obviously, Caicedo from Brighton, we talked about him. Who's Munez, plays for LAFC.
Mendez.
Yeah. Doesn't even start for LAFC. I think he's been really good. Estupinian looked fantastic today. That team's just a bunch of ballers, dude.
Plata.
Dude, I'm telling you, they're going to be
Plata's
so good
legit.
in 2026, bro. All of these players are young. We nailed that prediction like spot on in that one. They're rising before our eyes here. I think what's interesting is Canada looked really good against Belgium.
That's right, that group.
Belgium come away with a 1-0 win, but Canada, they left it out there, man. They went for it.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing that they didn't at least get a draw. I think they faded as the game went on. First 30 minutes, first half, I thought Canada
all over them,
missed a penalty, could have had another penalty, still had some chances.
I don't know if it's because this Canada team is actually very impressive or that this Belgium team just doesn't impress me at all.
I think it's both, to be
I
honest.
don't really think they got much. Kevin De Bruyne didn't look amazing. He won man of the match somehow. He didn't look very good.
Dude, he's everything for that. He's all of the ball progression. He's all of the hold-up play.
I don't rate Witsel that highly. I don't know if you saw much of him, but Witsel he's not the type of player that you would think he is, right? He's just kind of there. He doesn't turn with the ball. He's not spraying the ball wide, doing a bunch of stuff for his team. He's just kind of there with an afro.
He's always been there, but not. He's never taken that next step. It's weird. He's a weird player, and he's been kind of on the scene for a while. It's the next big youngster, and never got there. They subbed Tielemans at halftime. Something I want to talk about too is Germany losing. Right, I think they'll be fine. They need a win against Spain. But they need 6 points from the next 2 games to get through. But I heard a lot of people praising Schlotterbeck.
Slaughterback, yeah.
Slaughterback, yeah, for how good he is with the ball. Sule, those two have been every time I watch Dortmund, they seem like a disaster. I thought they were kind of a disaster for Germany. I like Rudiger. He's funny. He's good, whatever. But there's just a lot of not solid defensively. They're all over the place a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think the Germany team is good too. I think Hansi Flick's a good coach. Kimmich he's an automatic in the midfield. Give him the ball, let him do his thing.
Yeah. Which him and Gundogan should always be on the ball. They'll always have it ticking. Mm-hmm. Don't rate Havertz very highly.
Dude, I don't know what Havertz does. I've watched him plenty of times for Chelsea. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be good at. I'm not sure what he's done to earn starting spots.
He was young, so he was young. So you'd expect him to be wow, he's going to be really good. What has he gotten any better? Mm-hmm. Scored a goal in the Champions League final. What else? I mean, scoring a goal in the Champions League final is pretty
it's pretty cool, but that's a while ago. It's totally different situations. There's a mess at Chelsea. They can't score at Chelsea. There's been multiple managers, and Havertz has yet to really impress me for a long period of time to prove that he's that guy.
Yeah.
You're still relying on Mueller.
Musiala looks sharp, though.
Yeah, Musiala looked silky. Sane didn't play. I don't think he subbed in. Gnabry looked okay.
Everyone's praising the Japanese manager, I forget his name, because he made a tactical adjustment, play at 3 with 2 wingbacks. I forget the rest of the shape. Mm-hmm. But very attacking. Subbed on some players I don't know if Minamino got in, Matomo got in. They were really, really good when they changed shape.
They're feisty. They're very willing to go press.
And they were one of my teams, dude. They were one of my teams. I like them.
That's one of those teams where it's a shame that they're in such a tough group, you know?
Yeah.
Who else are we thinking? Maybe how about Uruguay's group? So Uruguay tied Korea. Korea's pretty good, right? I was high on Uruguay. I still think they have at least 4 points in them. Portugal's in that group. So Portugal's 0-0 with, who is it?
Portugal beat Ghana 3-2.
Ghana, yeah. I think we were both pretty high on Ghana when we dove into them, saw the roster. I sound like such an American guy. Saw their squad. But Portugal is clearly better when their young players are driving the team forward. When it's not just Ronaldo, it's Leao. Leao comes in, changes the game. Why not start Leao? A couple of the other guys, the older players, just don't do anything. It was 0-0 for 70 minutes. There.
Ronaldo played
Here's what he is. He stands up there.
He kind of got good chances. Right, he won the penalty kick. He had that one in the first half where he was slipped in by someone.
Well, they played like Fernandez as a right wing who annoys me. They play Otavio there, like in the midfield. It's like, why not just drop Fernandez back or anybody and play Leao as a left winger?
Yeah.
Like, you got to. João Felix, I like João Felix. I think he's good, but I'm not totally sure if he's good. Like, does he do anything?
He's good. He's just like from the Atletico mold, you know? Like,
He's played there way too long, man. He needs a move. Because that is a crime that someone with that kind of creativity will play, you know. Like, they were talking, the commentator was saying, like, hey, him and Diego Simeone kind of butt heads. Yeah, because you have one guy trying to play soccer and the other guy trying to defend.
But I think Portugal, however far they get in this tournament, they're always going to be in games because of who they can bring off the bench. Like, right? They brought on Leao, like, what? 75th minute, 70th minute?
The team's deep, man.
Leao. The Serie A MVP Leao, they just brought on and he scored a goal. So.
MVP. Why are we so American right now?
They
bro?
call it that in Serie A.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I heard he's player of the year. Yeah, Leao. Like, they didn't even start Nuno Mendes. Like, they started Guerrero, who's pretty good. I mean, Cancelo, Diaz. Like, that is a good, like, deep team. Ghana almost tied it up, too. Ghana's feisty, man.
I like when the guy did the Ronaldo celebration.
Yeah. It's 3-2. You're still down. Your teammates are running to grab the ball. And you do the see. But, dude, any game in that group could go any way. Ghana impressed me. Korea's going to be good. They're going to be organized. They have talent. I'm a big Uruguay guy. Like, all four of those teams, I wouldn't be surprised if they got out. Now, Ghana's obviously, they have 0 points, so they're behind it a little bit. But they're going to give every team a tough game.
Yeah.
Who was a couple of the players on Ghana that we really liked? Weren't there a few?
They have Inaki Williams. You like the right back?
Yeah, he was good. He was feisty. I forget his name.
That's kind of it.
They
have a few others.
Any other big storylines from the group stages thus far?
Nah.
It's been very. It hasn't been like that tactical of a World Cup. I feel like it's a lot of mid blocks. Teams not really pressing. I want one team like Canada was kind of that team because they went for it. They pressed a little bit high. They were a little bit direct. They were going for it. They played like they were the better team. It was like a breath of fresh air for a World Cup where every team's like conservative, mid block, low block. Let the other team have the ball until they get the ball, and then they can impose themselves. I think part of it's just because the World Cup's in Qatar in the middle of the club season.
Yeah.
But Canada went for it, man. Like, that's surprising. Like, we need Jesse Marsh to coach a team in this World Cup.
Maybe we'll see a little bit more of it as teams start to
They got to open up. They
get more games in.
Yeah. Get more familiar.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's pretty much it, yeah. So, USA, 2 p.m. Tuesday versus Iran.
It's winning, you're in.
Yeah, it's a round of 32 game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's round of 32. Berhalter's always said there's two tournaments. There's the group stage. The group stage is all about qualifying for the knockout tournament. And the knockout tournament is one game at a time. So now's the time to test it, right? You set yourself up to win this game. You got to win this game. Like, you're playing against Iran. Like, you'll take this any day of the week. And, like, it would be disappointing to play that well, especially in the first half against Wales, that well for most of the game against England, and to not, come away with this. So,
All right.
let's do it. All right.
Before we go, let's pose for a picture for our thumbnail. All right.
All right. Peace.